Hi guys, so coming up is going to be a tutorial for a little mini album. I actually have it here in my hand because I jumped right in whenever I got the unboxing items and review items from Melissa Francis. So thank you so much. The items you'll see in the video are pretty much review items, of course, and they were sent free of charge, and all opinions on my own, as like I always say. So I have the album here, and I'll show you that in just a minute, but I held on to the video because I wanted to touch bases with Melissa Francis herself there and see about some sales that she had on her website that had just recently ended. So I was like, well, maybe we can get in on those sales, right? So I did chat with her, and she, you know, in talking, we talked about lots of different things, and she's going to be a grandmother very soon, hopefully next week, so she's really excited about that, and so we're gonna extend the sale there for you guys with the celebrations and everything that's going on for her coming up here. So I did want to quickly run down what that is. Of course, it depends on when you watch this video if the sales are still available, but for right now, today, I know they will be for a little while here. So we have the stamps are going to be 20% off. Your dies, which I use a lot of dies in here, are 50% off. The charms, you know, cute little like embellishment charms, are 75% off. And oh, I wrote something. I do not know what I wrote here. Something else is 50% off. My handwriting is like crazy here. Hope I didn't mix that up there. But I did also want to mention, and I wasn't aware of this, so she, you know, like I said, I got to know her or met her through classes that she would run through the expos a while back, many years ago, and I got to know her because she's presenting the class. She did not know me, but I was there, and you know, small family-run business there, so that, you know, they very intimately work with, you know, their items and things. So that's really great. They are offering now custom stamps and custom stencils. So let's say you want a certain particular stamp, like she's saying maybe that the handmade one that I showed you guys in the unboxing, you know, by Vianney, which you're never going to find, or by whoever, or your whole name, or just something that you like to say, or something that you like to, you know, put on your stamps, and you can get it made into a stamp. And stencils, the same thing. So if you're interested in that, it's not quite on the website yet there. Obviously I'll have the links for melissafrancis.com, but you can send them an email, and just in the header, just kind of, I think it's customer service at Melissa Francis. I'll have the email there for you guys. But you can put Brian as maybe custom stencil, or Brian custom stamp, or whatever it is that you want to do, but address it for Brian, B-R-I-A-N, and he'll get back with you guys on that one. So just real quick, this is the little mini album we'll be working on today, and I think it came out really, really cute, and lots of fun things here, little tags, pockets, all that stuff that we used to do, or like to do, and I just haven't done it in a while, so I think this is really fun. Again, Melissa's thing is like shabby chic, so hopefully I did that justice a little bit here. And we're using our Diamond Press larger dies to make the album, kind of like the bases here that you see. So check it out, because I know a lot of you guys were curious about that too. So hopefully you'll enjoy the tutorial, and let's go ahead and get started. Hi guys, so today I have something really fun for you. When I did the Spellbinders mini album the other day on using the vignette dies, I mentioned you can do it with any die, really, and so people were like, yeah, show how to do it with any die, you know, and especially the ones that came with the, or that you could purchase for the marquee cutting tool. So I am going to do that today. But I also recently received so many nice things to review from Melissa Francis, so I told you guys in that video, the review video, kind of the unboxing, that I would use those items for a mini album and cards and other things. So I do have everything here that Melissa had sent. I just put them in this nice little tub so that I have everything together. Really generous, and you know, I have stencils in here, we have half pearls, we have resin pieces, we have crepe, we have lace, stamps and dies, watercolor pencils, her amazing glass glitter. Oh, and I did go over to her site just to make sure. The two blues, there's ocean, and then I think sky blue, I think is the other name, but hopefully you can see now with the lighting a little bit different. One is a little bit lighter than the other. So, and this one has an O. So, something like that. But there are two different blues, and I just want to make sure, because in the video it was a little, I wasn't quite sure. I have some like kind of ephemera-like pieces over here, so we're gonna junk out our book with this stuff. So thank you so much, Melissa Francis, for sending those for my review. And so the basic items, I am going to use the largest die of the square scalloped set that was available on HSN. I don't know if they're there right now. People asking when the marquee will be back. It will be back on HSN on in June. So probably for the craft day special, but I'm not sure exactly when they're going to bring them back. So this is the largest square, and I went with the square because I like the shape, but again, whatever shape die you have, even if it's like a little bracket kind of shape or like a more ornate, you're gonna have to do something to attach it right to your binding. So this one isn't super ornate. You could probably attach this to the binding no problem, but it is kind of small. So this is about 4¼ inches square. So what I wanted to do was make the book a little bit bigger than that. So we're gonna start off with our foundation piece that's going to make the actual book. So I'm going to do 5 of these. So my book is going to have 5 pages. So a front cover, 3 pages inside, and a back cover. I'm using this paper as my foundation paper. This is from Hobby Lobby. It is what they call heavyweight cardstock. So when you see it, it will say on there heavy cardstock in the color cream. And of course I cut this down, but we'll talk about that in just a minute. So I have 5 of these, and then we need our spine. Now, I discussed the spine in depth in that first video, so I'll probably refer you back to that, because that way this video can get going and we can do more of the review than how to, make this little book, because I already made a book basically exactly the same. But this piece measures 4½ by 3. So it is 4½ tall because my base paper for my book is going to be 4½ inches square. So these are 4½ by 9. Right, so that when we score it at 4½ inches, it's going to make a 4½ inch square paper. And you can do 2 4½ inch squares and glue them together, but what's the point of that? So this is nice because that edge is going to be nice forever. It's not going to open up on you. It's not going to do anything funny. So this is going to be our page, and this is where we attach it to our book. Let's say this is our binding, and you stick it here, right? And this will also allow you to make pockets real easily. You can do pockets, obviously, if you did 2 pieces of paper that you glue together, but this will be a little easier. So I'm going to show you how to make your basic page, how to make like a pocket page, and then, of course, how to junk it out, right? So we have our pages. So we need 5 of these. Now, let's say you don't have this square, or you have a bigger square, or you want to use whatever it is that you want to use. Even if it's something fancy, like I said, I wanted to back it up with a little bit larger paper. So obviously my paper is going to be here, and you added measurement. All you have to do to make your binding is measure how tall your pages that you went with. So let's say this is some kind of fancy scroll ornate thing, and you put it on a 6 by 4 piece of, well, let's say 6½ by 4½. That way you can map big pictures on it. So you want your binding to be 6½ inches tall, or wherever you want to bind it. If you want to bind on the 4½ inch side, by 3 inches. With 5 pages. If you want 6 pages, you want it by 3 3/4 inches. If you want 7 pages, you want it by 4½ by, so 4½ by 3/4 if you want 6 pages, or however tall it is, 6½ by 3 3/4. For every page you add, you want to add 3/4 inches to the binding, because you need a 1/4 inch space in between your pages, and then you need 1/2 inch to go up and down to make the little tab that you're going to attach to. Okay, so if you want to make your book bigger and bigger and bigger, which I wouldn't recommend making them too big, obviously this is a small kind of thing, almost like a card, but a little bit fancier, right? It's like a really decked out card. You don't want to make it too big. So 5 pages for me is plenty. Again, 4½ by 3, and we're going to score it at every 1/4 inch, if you guys remember. So I'm going to go through and go every 1/4 inch. I was going to make it 3/8 inches, but then it was just, you have to have a special scoring tool that has 1/8 of an inch, which I believe is the Martha Stewart one, which I have, but I don't even know if that's available anymore. All right, every 1/4 inch. This first 1/4 inch piece is what's going to hold your first page. So we're going to stick that to that, just like we did in the other tutorial, okay? So we're going to make the rest of our binding. So that next line, we're not really going to do anything with. We're going to skip to the 3rd line. The 3rd one, we're going to mountain fold up. And as I'm pitching this up, I'm going to bring that 2nd line forward or under, so that this one, and then fold on that 4th line, so that this one stands up, right? This little piece is going to stand up, and that's what's going to hold our 2nd page. Okay, and then we're going to leave that next line alone, the next score line, and then go over to the 6th one and give it a pinch. And again, fold back that 5th one and the 7th one, so that this pinches up on its own. So we're doing something like this. Okay, so again, skip that next one. Really fold the following one. Fold it back on the one that we skipped. And then back on this one here. And I went through it a little bit quicker than I did the first time because this is basically all we're doing. And then that last score line, fold it up. Okay. So you have these little areas that look like this. So we need to glue those together. And this time I'm going to move my book, my score pal. Last time I glued right on there and got glue all over. Use my tacky glue because it sticks pretty quick. We're going to go to the back of our binding. We're going to put glue in each one of these little taco holder looking things, right? Each of the V's. It's a V now because we're holding it the way we are, but it was a mountain before. So plenty of glue. It's not going to show, so it doesn't quite matter. But you do want to get it just in those V's. I'm kind of getting it everywhere. Why is this not opening up? There we go. Somebody had said something about not clogging glue, and this one normally doesn't clog on me, but it is today. There we go. There's a little something in the... So a good amount of glue. And we're going to pinch these, obviously. You want to pinch each of these little channels. And once you get one kind of getting sticky and staying, you can move to the next one and give it a pinch. You know, like that. I'm kind of holding them. And give the next one a pinch. And then what you can do is turn it over. And hopefully you can see they're kind of staying together. And you can kind of lay it down. That little groove, the whole pincher. Just lay it down and lay it down. And now it's all nice and flat. And all I'm going to do is put some weight on it and keep it flat so that it sticks together. It's sticking together in the back. This front is still going to be free. See? They're not sticking there. But I'm going to put this to the side and put some weight on it so our binding is done and we can move on to our pages. Okay, basic page number 1. This is going to be our front cover, and I'm going to show you how to make the first and second page, because on the second one I'm going to do like a little pocket, okay? So for the front page, I'm not going to do too much right now because I'm going to decorate it pretty much when I go to stick it down. So for right now, all I'm going to do is take some chocolate ink. This is close to my heart. Whatever brown ink or walnut or stain, or I know Melissa likes to use a lighter color of stain, the distress ink, and I can't remember which one. Vintage linen, maybe? I think that's what it's called. I don't know why this chocolate, it's kind of interesting. It's changed colors over the years because it used to be really brown and now it has kind of like a green undertone. I don't care for that much, but this is what I normally use, so I'm just taking that and I'm just going to distress the edges. You don't have to do this for your book if you don't want to. Do whatever you like, and just a little bit. So on both sides, they're not glued yet or anything. I'm just distressing these. Okay, so that's one page. The next one, again, the same thing. Actually, I probably should do this at the end, but that's okay. And as heavy-handed or as light as you like. And again, you don't have to distress at all. Both sides. If you're the type of person who likes to lay it down, come in and do that kind of thing, you know, do that. But I'm just kind of getting the edges. Just a little something. Okay. So, this is going to be our front page, but the next one, and please, when you're designing this, pay attention to where your opening is, because earlier I made some other pages, and I'm like, oh, I meant that one to be on the other side because it was like this, and I'm like, now I have to switch it like this, the way I designed it. But, okay, so we have these two. Front page, when you open it up, these are going to be the pages that face each other. And what I'm going to do on this one is I'm going to take this Paper Studio, I guess it's from Hobby Lobby, 1.5 inch punch, but you can do 1 inch, you can do whatever you like. There's some papers in here, hold on. And you can look on the front side because it has the middle of the halfway mark, or you know, you can look at it however you like. I kind of like to look at it so I can see through here, even though I'm still kind of paying attention to those 1/2 inch marks or halfway marks. And we're gonna make a little punch, and I just eyeball where the middle is, and I'm not always right, but pretty close. And then I'm doing one side at a time because this paper is super heavy. I couldn't punch through both. Now, if you want just a pocket to show up on this side, you can just punch this one side. and that's great. On the other side, it's just going to be a plain piece, you know, the full page. And I think I'm going to leave it that way for this one because I did do a page over here where I punched both sides, and it wasn't, you know, it's okay. So all you would do is if you want your page punched completely on both sides is then go ahead and look through this again and eyeball the next one, because you're going to punch this part that's not right. As you go in, you just go click, and it's going to punch the other one perfectly so they line up together. But I'm going to leave it this way just so you can see the difference with this. Alright, so we just made a place where we're going to put a tag, okay? And then you continue. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the next few pages that I had made already. So that's the next page. Let me get these not confused here. This next page is just going to be solid like our front page, and then I started decorating these with the actual pages. So we'll show you, or the mats that come in from the dies you're going to use. If it's, you know, Spellbinder, Sizzix, Diamond Press, Crafter's Companion, it doesn't matter. Whatever dies you have that you want to make your card or your album out of. And on this page, and this is our back page, so I haven't decorated that yet. So I just wanted to see how to I matched them up. And what's funny about this one, I wanted this wood paper to go up and down. And again, I did this before. I was like, I want my wood paper to go up and down. So I'm doing both. And then this is like this really cool kind of brick looking paper with little flowers. So very shabby chic looking, and that's what I wanted. So on this one, and the way I'm treating them is like they're layouts. So if I look at it, they're both like a 2-page layout. So they're both the same, but you can make them different. It doesn't matter. Do whatever you want. Okay. So, what we need to do is punch out papers or cut out papers from our die, whatever die it is that you choose to use. And I think I'm just going to stick with these papers. I might do something different for the front page, but I do have these papers here that are from this stack. Let me grab it. Oops. I've been using this one a lot recently. It's called Country Road. It's from, I guess, Hobby Lobby. And it has a lot of cute papers, so what I'm going to do is continue using the blue, that really pretty pinkish with the kind of like flowers, kind of graffiti looking, like painted. And then I'm going to pick out probably maybe another one for the front cover. I've been liking this one with the wood, so I might use that for our front cover. Again, the way I've been doing this, I've been treating them like little scrapbooks. So these papers probably aren't going to make it. But all we need to do is cut down our paper. The die is about 4 1/4 inches, so I've just been cutting my paper down to like just over 4 1/4 inches. So when I go to cut it, it'll be ready to go. I'll do the same with this other paper. And put that to the side for now. And all you do is put your die on your paper, line it up however it is that you want. And you're going to cut out your mats. So I'm treating this as a mat, and this is, again, this one isn't too ornate, that you can probably stick it onto your binding without a little square like I made, but I wanted to make the book a little bit bigger. And we're going to cut this out. And yes, now that my diamond press has been used so much, the folder, it does warp the paper a little bit on these bigger implements like this one. If it was a smaller die, it wouldn't be the biggest deal, but I mean, the paper's fine. It gets like a little pinched right here, but you can just go like that and it's flat again. So, you know, I'm still using it. So again, I'm going to cut out another one. So 2 of each of these, 2 of each of this one, and I will be right back. I just finished cutting these pieces out. So we are done, I believe, with this. I think I have all the pages I need. So what we're going to do again with these is also distress them. So I'm going to take a second to do that. I probably should have done that. Again, with this paper, you probably don't even need it if you don't want to take the moment to do that. Especially if you weren't distressing the outer edges. You can do whatever you like. But this is going to be our front page. So let me bring this back. And I just want to make sure I have this the right way. And I'm going to stick this here. And since this is just the front page, you know, these guys are pretty much flat. I'm just going to use a tape runner. But you can use wet glue, whatever you like. Oh, let me mention, if you're going to put a ribbon closure and you want it to look nicely, or look nice, you can wait to put your front cover on until the end, because that way you can put the ribbon around and then put this on top of it, and it kind of helps keep your ribbon down. Okay, So don't do this front page yet, but I'm doing the front page because we got to get moving, because I'm going to do some gesso or some kind of paint through this too. So, okay, so next page, I think I'm going to go with the pink, because that way it'll be pink, blue, pink, blue. So pink. I'm probably not doing this as diligently as I would, because I need to get some stuff going because they need to dry. That's the next point here. Okay, so what I'm going to show you here is I'm going to stick these guys down and I'm going to plan it out kind of something like this, I suppose. Maybe like this, because that green. And then, as you can see, we have our little hole, but we have our little guy here. So this is a couple of different things. You can get a bigger hole punch, maybe a 1 3/4 or however you want to do it, and then punch that. So when you move it down, the little ridge here is kind of more perfect. But I am not going to do that. I'm just going to kind of line this up so I know that this is still pretty well where I want it. And again, just like we were going to punch the second hole if you wanted to, I just kind of looking through here, I'm going to punch through my paper. I'm going to ink up that little area. And then I'm going to bring it down. So as you can see, it doesn't match up. But if you want it to match up better, to have the same kind of amount, you can either eyeball it by hand and cut it, or like me, not care about that. So again, if you use 2 different sizes of punch, maybe that first one could have been a 1-inch punch on here, and then 1.5 here, so it's just a little bit deeper. However you want. But I'm just not going to worry about it. Okay. And on this side, we're going to put the other piece of paper that matches, and I'm trying to line up. And that's what you're going to do for all your mats, just throughout the whole book. Pick what you want to put down. Get that going. And move on to your next page. So with the blue ones, I'll stick those down. I'll ink them up and I'll stick them down here however I want. So those are our blue pages, and then the next page is going to be these pink ones with a pocket, and the next page is going to be blue, and then our last page I'm going to mat up with this brown, and I will be right back. Normally I would already just have stuck my pages down, but I want to use some gesso or some liquid effects or creative effects. These are Vicky Button ones, and there's also a pearl one that came with this. It came from HSN. So I would have just used these, because look at how pretty that pink is, and then we have this gold. But I really wanted to use gesso, so I'm going to start with some gesso. And I'm going to take our Melissa Francis stencil. Like I said, in that first unboxing, I showed you guys all the stuff that came. So this is, I'll have the numbers, hopefully, in the description box there. And I was going to just go ahead and put some on the front, but maybe I should use like the pink for that, just to be a little more dainty. So in here, let's say I'm going to open this up and just take one of the pages. It doesn't matter. And obviously with this gesso, it's going to be fun. Just kind of throw it on there. So let me open this up. This is Liquitex. I think I got this on Amazon. Super heavy gesso. And it's really old, and as you can see, it still looks great. You don't need that much. And whatever's left, you can always scrape back into your jar. So I'm just putting this on here any old way, but you can, you know, do it nice and straight, whatever you want. I'm just going to get this on here. And don't try to make it perfect. Like, you want it to be kind of funky. Look at that. And it's just a little something that we're just adding. So I'm going to leave that there. I'm probably going to hit it with a drying tool, because I need this to dry so we can keep moving on. Again, the rest of what's on here, you can scrape it. There's not too much left. And I have an old kitchen towel here with me for the purpose of doing this, because I need to keep using this. So I'm going to clean this off. The super old towel. It should wash off anyway. And then I'll use more white somewhere else, but I'm gonna have to wait a second for my front page, because the back has white gesso on it. So just keep moving on. Like in here, maybe I'll use some of the gold. It doesn't have to be on every page. This is just something fun I wanted to try out. Have I not used this one before? Ooh, I have not. Oopsie. Okay. Again, you don't need tons of this stuff. And maybe I'll go with a little bit more. And I'm letting it get all over the edge too, you guys. Like, not just on the little fancy paper or, you know, our little background. Just let it get on the whole thing. You want some of these honeycombs to fill in. There we go. I love it. So I'm going to go around and do that to some of the pages, just adding gesso or the color, and I'll be back. Okay, I'm probably going to hit these with my heat gun, but as I'm waiting for these things to dry, we can move on because we need to decorate or color in some of our resin pieces. So she sent several resin packs, and I'm just kind of looking to see what it is that I would want to put. Oh, something like this probably in this book. And maybe some of these. But what I want to show you, oh, these are cute too. So let's have those open there. There's a couple different tricks. So you can color these in. You can leave them white. Obviously, Shabby Chic, it looks really great with the white. But I do have her watercolor pencils, and they're really nice, vivid colors. But what I'm going to do is pick out a few of them. Some green. Maybe yellow and pink, I don't know. We'll see. And you can color these with your Spectrum Noirs or your Copics or whatever it is that you like. I'm going to take, like, this guy. Probably just leave it on there, but for now I'm going to go ahead and peel it off. And it has some really good stick. You can probably use that stick to stick it. Wow, that's very sticky. Alright, so what you're going to do is literally just come in with your color pencils, and these are watercolor pencils, again, from her site there. And just scratch the color on. Looks real pretty, huh? No, I'm just kidding. We're not done. Just scratch some of that color in there. And I'm going to go ahead and throw in some yellow. Why not? I don't know what's going to happen here because I've never done that. I've only ever used the color, but let's try that. And then let's scratch in some green. And yes, I'm kind of destroying the tip here, but it'll be fine. You can sharpen it. And I just have a pencil here that I've been using recently in different videos, just a number 3 round, I guess. Again, this little pencil came from like a cheap kit that the kids had. And you're just going to add some water. Hopefully you can kind of see how it's activating. So again, this is something else that I do need to let dry. These are really pigmented because when I put in the water, it totally changed the... got that pink in there. So I'm going to continue playing with this until, obviously, we have more color. Look at that. Wow. Yeah, I'm definitely get a little more water. I'm being a little dry about it. Here we go. I'm just giving like a suggestion of color. It doesn't have to be complete colored in. And then I'm going to put our leaves. So did you guys know you could do this? So cool, right? So now we have this piece, and again, it's really sticky on the back. I'm going to let it dry, but really cool. And of course, you can use whatever colors you like. Let me show you real quickly if you're using like a... a pen. Let me get this little one. We'll just get this little one out. And see, I have this pink violet blend. Now this pen is very soft. I mean hard, the nib. I would probably use more of a Copic with the brush nib, or your illustrators if you're using Spectrum Noir. But I'm doing this very lightly because I don't want to mess up, obviously, my nib. So I'm very lightly coming in here to give a suggestion of color. So you can do that with all of these guys. And then maybe do like a yellowish gold color. You can spray paint these. You can paint them with paint. You can just do whatever you want. Obviously, they take everything really well. So I'll just do this, and maybe I'll add like a little yellowish here. Or you know what? I'll use my, excuse me, my gold Sharpie and add some gold over here. Again, just the gold Sharpie, and hopefully this will... Yeah, cool. And I'm just rubbing it over the edges, really, just to get a little more definition, a little more color. I don't know if you can see that compared to the other side. Pretty cool. All right, let me see if our stuff is dried up so we can start putting our book together and then start adding more elements. Real quick, I was trying to hit this with a heat gun just to dry it, but check it out. It starts bubbling, and I kind of like the effect because it gives just more texture. So if you hit it, you'll see it starts bubbling like it's cooking, and then just move away. I think that's actually pretty cool. I like that. And then the gesso just stays flat, like gesso or wherever you did it. It doesn't cake up like that. And just real quickly, I just gave a suggestion of gold over the edges of our flowers too. And this, I'm loving this. This is so fun. I just took my gold Sharpie and just ran it over the edges. So after you've colored it, now you have like a little bit of antiquing going on, and it is literally just a gold Sharpie. Let me get closer so you can see what I'm talking about. Look at that. And then this one, I did the same thing. I just ran over the little flower a little bit, so now it has little gold on there, on the very edges. Okay, our area is getting dirty now because we're getting our hands dirty here. Okay, so let me bring this back. What I'm going to do is cut out some of the dies, and I definitely want to use this chandelier because I thought it would be fun. And it does say images shown to size. I never noticed that until right now. Let me back up a little bit. So I want to use this chandelier because I think it'd be fun kind of in the background. So let's open this guy up. And I have plenty of that beige paper left over because basically every sheet of paper I had to use a whole sheet to get this to work right for the 4.5 by 9. So I have a lot of this beige paper left. So I'm going to cut this guy out. And I'm just going to go through and see what other dies I think would look nice in here, and then just keep going with that and cut, cut, cut until I have as many little kind of accent pieces as I would like to have, or however. Oh my goodness, so pretty. Wow. Really nice dye. Her dyes are kind of like a brushed steel look, so they're a little different than what I've noticed on other dyes. Look at that. So cute. So my idea on this was just it would kind of go in the back of something, and then you can put your picture or other things. It doesn't matter. So I'm going to cut different items out. That cut like butter, of course, at the marquee, and it cut out perfectly with her really nice dye. Again, like I said, it's kind of like a brushed steel look. So I have this one. I think I'm going to go ahead and cut like this one. I think that'll be cute because it'll fit there perfectly. It'll kind of mat the background of things. And I'll just look through and see what other dies. Of course, I already went through every single one of these in the last video. Oh, a little crown. We're going to cut that, of course. Maybe this is like little filigree design. And oh, we have a flower, a little bee. I think those are good what I picked out for now. Oh, really cute little like stems and branches. I like kind of tucking these kind of things in here and there. So I'm going to cut out a ton of these and I'll be right back. I just want to show you, even these really intricate dies just cut like butter. Look at this. Look at that. That's that circle one. Let me give you the product numbers real quickly. So for this circular one, it's D0026. And look, nice and clean. Came right out. And then the crown is D001, and the little filigree looking thing is D002. And the chandelier is, you know what? I took the wrapper off the chandelier. I'll have it in the description box, okay? Because I don't remember if it's D0011, something like that. But I'll have to have that information for you guys in the description box, of course. Okay, so I brought back my spine and it's ready to go. Again, I left it kind of flat one way, so we can just kind of open these up. Push them back the other direction. And there's still plenty of glue in the back. It doesn't matter. We're going to cover this up. And so we haven't talked about that yet, but we will. So this is my first page. Again, I didn't do the stenciling yet because I had stuff on this side that needs to dry. And this stuff is not really super dry yet. Okay, I'm not going to lie here. But what we're going to do is take our glue, and I am going to use tacky glue just because it's super sticky and I like this stuff. So I'm just going to leave that there for now. And we're going to glue this completely closed. So plenty of glue, especially on these edges that are going to be touching the binding, right? Right here on both sides of the very edge, because that needs to touch both sides of the binding. And I think that's pretty good. So what we're going to do is bring over our binding, and this very first little flap is what's going to go here. So I'm going to lay it down first. I don't know what's going on the back side of that, so we will see that in a minute. But I'm going to bring this in and just make sure you get that whole to the end of the flap as you can get, right? Because you want it to hold on really well. And since we're using a wet glue, we can kind of manipulate it a little bit. So hopefully you can kind of see I really just got it right to the edge where our first score mark is. And you can look on the back side just to make sure you're good. And that looks pretty darn good. So I'm just going to flatten this out and just make sure it's all sticking together. Now normally I would like flatten it out with my hand, but since I'm kind of afraid of that gesso, I'm just gonna do a little something like this. There are lots of gold paints out there, or you know, even you can even white paint. You don't have to use gesso. I know that's kind of a little fancy thing that not everybody has. Any kind of paint, you know, you can just pounce through the stencil. That's great too. Okay, so that's our front page, or first page. And then we move on to the next page, which for me is this one, right? We had cut our little notch. And now this one's going to be a little different because we don't want to glue this whole thing together. So you're just going to put your glue along the edge like we need for our book here. And on the bottom. And then on this side, right? Because we need glue on either side. And this time again, I'm just kind of going to butt this all the way up to the binding as far as I can get there. I'm kind of holding it gingerly to get this other side down and just making sure it's nice and straight and that both sides are adhering. So as close to the edge here that I can get. And then of course this bottom edge needs to seal. So I'm just gonna kind of hold it, massage it. I showed you guys in the last video, you can lay this down flat. I'm just kind of pushing the binding behind my hand here just to keep this flat and make sure that that's adhering really nicely. And I would spend a lot of time with this, but I'm going to move on to the next page. And the next page has, it's almost dry. And this one is going to seal up completely, so I'm just going to go ahead and put glue all over. And I'm going to keep doing this for all the pages. So here and the other edge. Make sure that it comes together. Make sure you have the right page facing. And I'm going to go to that next little tab. Tuck this in, make sure it's touching the very edge of the binding. And I'm going to make sure it's kind of straight again. And it's really easy to do because this is 4.5 inches tall, the papers are 4.5 inches tall, so it just comes together. And again, I can just kind of bend this back if I need a little zhuzhing, need a little extra help here to get close, okay? And I'll do the next page in the same manner, and then our last page, so the next page is right here. Again, with some of that sticky gesso on there. And again, I would just adhere the two edges here. Put plenty of glue on either side of our binding, stick it there. And our very last page is just sealed up like the first page and stuck to this very last little flap on the back. Okay, and I'll come back when I have all that adhered. Okay, pretty much everything is adhered. And it is so cute, but I'm kind of keeping it open because again, I'm pretty sure this gesso and stuff is still a little bit wet. So what we're going to do is move on to make some more dimensional things, maybe some like rolled flowers and stuff like that, because we need a little something right on the inside. We have our resin pieces, we have our die cut pieces, we need to make tags and just add a few more things. So let me grab those things and we will work on that. This aside for a minute. We're almost there. Everything else I'm doing now is just literally extra, right? So we have some ribbons maybe we can add, or some of that little pom-pom, just cute things. This is the crepe paper in black and white from Melissa Francis there. Let me try to open this up. Okay, sorry about that. So all we're going to do is take some pieces. I'm just going to cut a piece off of here. And I haven't made these in a while, so forgive me if this comes out funky. And all we're going to do is, I just need like strips of this stuff. However you want to use it, obviously. There's tons of tutorials out there to make flowers and stuff that are really cute. And then we need like a little base to put this on, so I'm just gonna just cut a piece off here. And I'll round it out later. But all you're gonna do, and this is super easy, is take the ends. I'm kind of opening it up a little bit, but give it some twists, twist, 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 twist. All the way to the edge. And as you're working with it, you're going to twist it anyway. So I'm just going to start with one end and kind of bring it in towards itself. And as I'm working, just keep twisting. And we're just going to make like a little flower. Like the idea of a flower, basically. So I'm twisting and I'm turning. You know, you can do this with jeans too, or any kind of anything, ribbon, strips of old jeans. It's really fun. So this one's getting a lot bigger than I would expect, but you know what? That's okay. I'm going to do this one kind of big, and then I'll do a few other small ones. Now, if we had a glue dot, that would be really nice, because you can stick it right onto a glue dot or hot glue. But for right now, I'm just going to make sure that I have plenty of tacky glue all over this piece, especially at the end. And I'm just going to plop it down on this here. And you can kind of adjust it as you're working with it. If you want more, you know, life to it, just kind of bring it up a little bit more. And once that's really stuck down, I'm just going to trim away the excess. So I'm going to make a bunch of these, and I'm going to make some that are smaller. And if you want it smaller, all you have to do is cut your paper. You can, oh, see what happens when I let it go? No. Cut your paper shorter. It can be the same width because you want twisting, right? But just cut your paper shorter. And you're going to end up with smaller flowers because there's not as much to wrap around and around. So I'll be back once I have a few flowers made. Okay, so let's make some tags while we're waiting for things to continue drying. I just grabbed some scrap pieces of paper. Obviously these are not even the same size, but they are both 3 inches wide, just so I know it can go in the pocket really nicely. I'm just going to take my little Martha Stewart punch that has been well loved for many years. You always want to start in the middle of your paper. I think I might need a new punch because this is heavy cardstock and it is struggling. And then you just move over to the left and match up your design, and move over to the right and match up your design. And that's going to be the bottom of my tag. Now, we can do lots of things, round it out, you know, do something cute, whatever you like, if you want to do that kind of thing. Like maybe on this one, maybe I won't use that. Maybe I'll just use my corner rounder if I can find it. I have two interesting punches here, and one I think does like a stub. Oh yeah, let's do that instead of a corner rounder. This one does a decorative. I don't know what that means. I'm not exactly sure what that looks like, so we'll just use it. Oh, fancy. So this is We Are Memory Keepers maker there, and so there's that. And then I'm piling up lots of things here. We can take our tool again, distress, because I've been distressing, but if you haven't, I've been distressing, that's funny. If you don't want to, don't do that. And this one I'm going to do on both sides, because if you remember on one of my little pull tabs, I have it so you can open it, pull it from either side. So I'm going to decorate both sides of this one. And this one I'm just going to distress the one side. And I'm going to look in that little pack of ephemera pieces and things and see what we can do to add on to our tag. Okay, sorry. So I'm just going to open this up, and this is the item F9340, and it has vintage cutout sheets in 4 different styles, 30 coordinating peel and stick vintage labels. We like peel and stick. So let me see what we have in here. Oh, it's nice. Just looking at the sticky stuff that's on the back there. I'm trying to see if I can open this without destroying it. There we go. Some of these tags are tiny, like little ones. Oh, look at Tiny Toes Shoe Company. That is too cute. Tooth Fairy Company. Oh my gosh, these are adorable. Elliot Toy Company. Warren's Blankets. And some of these are Christmassy. Some are, you know. Huh. I might use that one just because, whatever. It's just, oh, this is cute too. Flower seeds, baby stuff. And then they get bigger and bigger. Bedtime bears. How cute are these things? So I'm just going to stick this like on there. And you can always trim these down if it doesn't work for you, or, you know, do whatever you like. I'm just going to distress this one a little bit. And let me see how I want to use this. You can cover it up. Obviously put other things on it. I'm going to put this one on one side of this bigger tag. Here we go. I was going to say there's probably an easy way to do this. It's called strip tack. So basically those little arrows, all you do is bend it and it pops open for you. I'm going to let it go right down the center here. And on the other one, or the other ones, let me see what we have here. I know this is on sale right now too for a really great price. These are interesting. I like the feel. Lots of different things, lettering, little letters we can pop out or cut out. Oh, this is so pretty. That's the kind of thing I like right here. You can see all the different things with the little lettering. Kind of like baby food and baby related stuff, really cute. And then again, the more like flowers, seeds, the little tooth fairy stuff. First tooth, mealtime, playtime, so cute. More kind of baby related. So let me look at these and see which ones I would like, and I'm just going to cut things out and we'll put them on our tag. Okay, so I just cut out a couple other little things, and I'm just going to distress them and stick them down. And this one's just like a little thing about soap, I don't know, it was cute. So we're going to stick that down too. And then at the very top of my tags, to be able to pull them out, I'm just going to take some of her lace here. Sorry, I thought I was going to have a little sneezer. And let's use this one. And I thought I had my little Tim Holtz, what's that thing called? Stapler, but I don't know where I put it. So I'm just going to use a mini stapler from, I don't even know where. Where is it? I think I got it from Michael's, but I'm just going to put the little tag. This is old school. We always did our little tags, kind of just bend it in half like this and then just attach it with a staple. So I'm just going to take this little tiny stapler from one of these little like stationery kits and just staple that on. Okay, I'll do the same thing for the other one. I have quite a mess here. One last thing on those tags, I'm just going to put some journaling lines. And if you don't have this kind of stamp, don't worry about it. I'm going to try and line these up, but they might not be perfect, but that's okay. So just some lines so that you can write something on there, at least on one of them. And this one too, I suppose. Yeah, something like that. Okay. And I used to use that all the time back in the day, because whenever I did my little mini albums or scrapbooks or stuff like that. So I'm trying to get my flowers back. Okay. So these are these little guys I was telling you about. Just trim around the edge. Just take away that extra crepe, but not too close, because obviously you want the purpose of that is to hold your flower together. So make sure we have that. And so now we're just going to start decorating. I have plenty of pieces. We might pop out some other things as we go along, but basically let's bring our book over. And I mean, the last thing we need to do is our binding. And I'm just going to wait till the end, because it's just something I'm going to add on to the back. It's not going to help with any particular thing. Just notice I need to be careful with my glue. I told you that that chocolate ink has like a green undertone, and it's coming out here. Okay. So, let's see. Obviously, one of our tags is going to go here. The one that's just on the one side. Super cute. Just going to pop in there. And we just start decorating. So, like, let's say here I want to put like these little flowers. And then I'm going to cut these other ones down so I can put them with it. And I'll be right back. Looking at this page, I just cut this little guy out. This is D0029. And I just cut it out on the very edge of the gold paper that I have left, because I just really want the leaves. I'm not really needing the stem there. And I changed my mind because I wanted something gold in here. If it's all white on this page, as you can see, we have the white, you know, might as well add a little something gold too. So I just want to kind of, something like that. You know, all right, looks good. And I'm going to use my all-purpose Collall glue. Everyone, you know, I remember back in the expos, people swore by Beacon's 3-in-1 or your Zig. What was it called? What was that other glue? You know, I kind of don't want to stick that down, because what I'm going to do is just put a bunch of glue down here. In case I tuck a little picture in there or something, I don't want to make it so that our leaves don't let us do that. So I'm just going to put quite a bit of glue here. Add this guy in. Put this guy there. Something like that. Really simple. Easy, cute. And go on to the next thing. Of course, you can be a little more exact with your glue. You don't have to do something like I did there. So there's that. I can actually turn the page because it's going to stay flat anyway. On this side, we have this cutie stuff here. Maybe we can put this guy. He has a lot of color. This, I'm telling you, there's so much stick on the back of this, but I'm going to go ahead and just put a little more glue just in case. But I'm going to stick this guy down in this corner. And that's basically all we need to do here. I think that's pretty good because this is the kind of page where if you want to go ahead and, you know, put a nice picture or another tag and with like some details, some, you know, stick another little something on there for your journaling, that would be great. This one, I already had the idea. I need to get this guy going. You guys, hopefully you can kind of see this comes together really quickly. Obviously, I made some of the pages earlier. It took like maybe 10 minutes, right, to cut down your pages and cut out the mats. It does not take very long. And I think they're really cute. So the next tutorial, if I do a mini album, it'll be a little bit bigger. And we'll do a chipboard cover. I used to do that all the time in my, back in the day on my old channel too. So they're really fun. They look really nice. So that was just all-purpose glue. I'm not going to distress this or anything. It's just kind of a nice, crisp background piece. So again, if you have a little picture, a little tag, a little something you want to put on top of this, you'll see that peeking out from the back. I think that's really nice. I'm going to keep holding this down until it's dry or sticking, and I'll be right back. To stick on this other side, I'm going to put this crown. Now you can pop this up a little bit and give it a little dimension, but I'm just going to go ahead and just stick it down. Run it through your Xyron, whatever it is that you like. This is coming together really nice. I'm telling you, whenever I would take classes with Melissa, they were really fun. You know, she's... you know how you guys tell me I keep it real. She's a real person. She's really nice, and she's kind of the kind of person like, don't fret, you know, don't like, oh no, this came out this way or whatever. It's fine, you know, just work with it, keep going. Really cute. So I like that kind of work. I know some people get really picky with their crafts, and that's great, you know. I'm just not like that. So as you can see, actually I got some gold liquid whatever effects stuff on here, and it looks kind of cute, so no problem. We have our tag. Again, it's just, you know, double-sided. We're going to pop that in here. You don't have to put that in there until you're ready, but I just put it in there for now. Alright, next page, which is basically our last page. So all I'll probably do is come back in and add in more of our die cuts. I think I'm going to use this die in the front. Look how pretty that is, that die cut. So that's going to go on the front. I may have to make another resin piece for the front too. I want the front to be really, really kind of poppin'. And then I still have another crown. You know, well, maybe I can go on the front too. I don't know. I have this little pretty piece here. I have this little guy that I think would look nice. Maybe I'll put it there, and hopefully I'll have a picture I can tuck in there. So I'm just going to stick this down for now just for like a placeholder with the sticky that's on it, but I'm going to be able to lift it and put a picture, you know, down there. And this guy, I'm going to put it right in the center, and then that way if I have a tag or something later, a journaling tag, I can just kind of put it on there at a jaunty angle so it'll look cute. This one's a little bit more intricate, so I'm being very careful. You guys, this came together so quickly. I mean, I know obviously I paused here and there to, you know, get things prepped, but seriously, I woke up at 6 basically. It's about 7:30 right now, and then I had cut the pieces last night. So, all right, some of the other pieces. I will be right back once this is stuck down real well. This is kind of chilling here. What we're gonna do, I took a piece of paper that we're gonna cover our binding with, and it's just the beige, you know, paper. You can do whatever you like. This is 4.5 inches tall because that's how tall our book is, and it's 2.5 inches wide because I want a little extra because I'm only going to glue the outside edges of this. I'm not going to glue on the binding like I did that last time in the Spellbinders book. So what I'm going to do just real quickly for reference is go ahead and score it 3/4 inches from either side. And that should leave me an inch in the middle, kind of. And it's not really, you know, hard and fast. It's just something I wanted to eyeball there, so I have that point of reference. You can use other things. You can, you know, decorate it up. I think what I'm going to do is maybe run some ribbon behind it just so it looks kind of cute. Maybe we'll hang something off of it. But for now, I'm just going to take my punch and again, start like in the middle. I don't know, you know, this middle one always gives me a problem because there's so much to punch through. So once I get over here, it's just that little edge. It doesn't take, it's not as hard. But, and then move to the other side and give it a punch. And I'm going to do the same thing for the opposite edge. Okay, so we have that here ready to go. I'm not quite going to use it yet, but basically I'm going to use just those tabs to stick this down. So that's why I want it a little bit wider. But you can completely glue your binding too to your edge like this. It looks nicer. I don't know. Maybe I'll change my mind. Look how nice that looks once you stick it really nice completely on there. I was just going to kind of leave it open and let it do its own thing. So, choices. We will see when we get there. Okay, so like I said, I want to stick this down. I'm just going to run the glue on the back side like I always do and just glue this down. You know what? I'll put some dimensional glue and pop this up here. And, oh, I did want to do some stickiness. No, I'm going to get my stencil and, again, add just a little bit of gesso here and there, and I'll be right back. This could be a disaster, but we will try it anyway. Let me get a foam brush, and I have some fabric paint, so it's not even paper paint like acrylic paint, but I have this sitting here and I'm like, yeah, I might as well use it. It's some white fabric paint, and I'm going to use where I cut my little flower, my little leaves. I'm just going to kind of dab this paint off a little bit, and I'm going to hold it down. And if I really wanted this to work, what I would do is put some what's that stuff called? Pixie spray. But I'm just gonna go for it, so I'm dabbing. I'm not pushing, like I'm not squeezing it in there this way, I'm just dabbing because I want to make sure it goes through and not move my stencil too much. It's a little something. I could have done a little better job, but that's really good. Fun. I'm gonna do the same thing on this bottom side and I will be right back. Oh man, I was just thinking I haven't used the glass glitter. I really want to use that, but that's gonna have to wait for another time. So again, I'm gonna stick all these down. Oopsie. So we'll definitely use some glass glitter on the cards that I'll be making coming up, but it's really fun stuff and it's just so pretty. And it is glass, guys. There's glass shards basically. I was just, you know, not quite, obviously that's what it says on the packaging, it should be glass, but I was like, I don't want you guys to feel scared like, oh, it's gonna be sharp or something. It's just really nice, tumbled a little bit, really pretty stuff. So don't be scared. And it has a totally different effect than glitter. Okay, so I'm gonna stick that down. And once this is stuck down really nice, I'm gonna come in with some 3D glue gel and just stick some on the back of this and have this popped up, okay? I'll be right back. Okay, so you guys already know I kind of work as I go. I am gonna go ahead and stick down the whole thing because I think it looks nice, but you know, with the whole thing stuck down to it. So I'm gonna use tacky glue. Actually, let's distress this a little bit first before I add my little crown. And I'm gonna bend these edges. Of course, we're gonna do this after it's on the book. And if you still want to put lace, you know, you can run it through the back and bring it around the front. Really cute. But for now, I'm just gonna keep it a little bit more simple. And this glue, you have to put tons. I don't want so much that it's just gonna go out everywhere, but you do want to put a lot because if you want your binding to stay on this side, I am running it just over these edges, even though it's gonna go out the holes a little bit. If you want this to completely adhere, you have to really make sure this is like touching, right? So I'm gonna place it on here. And right now it's kind of rounded, it looks cute. And you can keep it this way, just hold on to it rounded. Or you can lay it down flat so that you know every surface is touching. And you can even come in with like a pencil or your hand or something kind of thin. I have my watercolor pencils out still, and just kind of come in here and just make sure that those bottom layers are still touching really well. And the sides, you can glue the sides separately, you don't have to do it all at once. I just kind of like to hold everything at once. If I'm going to stay here holding it, I might as well hold everything, right? We're holding it all, we're holding the sides, and I will be back. So I'm just going to hold it down and make sure everything sticks. While I was holding this, I kind of set up some props to keep it pushed together and all that. So look at that. Really cute, really sweet. Again, you know, this bottom edge wants to kick up, I will put more glue there. So I changed my mind again. All right, this is what we're gonna do. I'm gonna stick this down completely. So we have the crown, we have that really cute little swirls there in the background, and hopefully this will be dry for the idea that I'm thinking, because I was like, oh, we didn't use the glass glitter, but then I lament doing that. So we're gonna use the glass glitter, guys, so hold on. And this is a little book out of Melissa also, or a page from her book that she likes to say, again, also, more is more. So, and even more than that, I think she says she likes that too. So, over the top plus more would be great. So I forgot I hadn't used the little hearts. Remember I told you I like this heart? So I think what I'm going to do is just leave it white like this. I'm just trying to see what I'm going to do here. Because this is going to be completely junked out, you guys. Maybe I'll put it down here. Yeah, that'll be good. Okay. I want to use a really good glue, so I'll probably use, let me flip this over again. This is what I did last time. Whenever it's something flat, I just flip it over so I can place my hand on it completely. And I'm going to use my all-purpose glue. The 3D glue gel might be actually better for this purpose, but that's okay. I'm just going to hold that down for a little bit. So our all-purpose glue, this tacky glue, dries clear. So I'm going to use it, but you want to use something that's going to dry clear when you get there. I'm going to put this guy like right here. Now I'm going to give this a minute to set up and dry because we're going to do a little edge around it with the glitter. And when I turn it over, I don't want this to fall off. So I will be right back. Okay, it's just so pretty already. So I'm going to use this so I can see where it's going. But to be honest, the Zig glue or your Beacons 3-in-1 probably better. Maybe even this one. Just because this is kind of a regular glue. I don't know how thick it's going to stay. So I don't have it completely open, it's open just a little bit, and I'm just going to go around the very edge of my heart with the glue. Not a super thick bead, but just around there. And I can see my heart still moving around. So what I'm planning to do, because this glue, I don't know how it's going to react, is to kind of just leave it sitting there. I'm not going to mess with it as soon as I'm done, right? So here we go. Oh, I need a little more on this back side. You guys probably were able to see that, not me. Okay, and then I'm going to take the pink. I'm assuming this is pink because it's pink. And so Melissa will tell you, you don't have to shake this because it's not glitter like glitter where you shake it, shake it, shake it. What you want to do with this stuff is just pour it. And I'm just going to take the whole thing off because whatever's excess, we're going to push it back, we're going to pour it back in. So don't, you know, shake, shake, shake. All you have to do is pour it on, and it feels weird because we're not used to doing that, you know? I'm going to pour some on this side just to make sure it really gets in that glue. And so yeah, I want to shake it. And just let the weight of the other glitter that's on top kind of help the other glitter stay. And I'm just going to leave this here for a little bit, like I said, because I don't know how this glue is going to react. I want it to hold it. I don't want it to slough off right when I lift this up. So I'm going to leave it for a few minutes, just a little bit, and I'll be right back. Again, this is still kind of wet, so what I'm going to do is just hold on to that and just let the rest of this go off on this piece of paper. Oh, so pretty. And give it a little tap, tap, tappy. So all this stuff that just came off, we can just put it right back into our pot. And basically you recovered all of it. So really nice that you hear how it sounds. So pretty. Really good stuff. And one other little tip Melissa has, like let's say you come back and you're like, oh, my heart looks kind of obliterated. I don't know if I really like that. This is actually pretty good. But you can just come in with your fingers and just push it back because the glue is still a little bit wet. And now that it has the glitter all over it, you're not going to get it stuck all over your fingers. So just push back whatever you want in whatever shape, obviously around the heart. And that is it for today, guys. So hopefully you like the tutorial on how to use, you know, any nesting die or any die. If you want to make more layers with your nesting dies, put another layer of, you know, the nesting die for your mats or however you like. But this makes a 4.5-inch little book. Thank you so much, Melissa Francis, for sending all the things that were required here to make such a little cutie. And hopefully you guys like the tutorial. And, you know, try it out for yourself. Let me back up just a little bit. So thanks for watching, guys. I'll have the links as necessary in the description box. I know we used a lot of stuff. Super cute. Really fun to kind of get back into card making or book making. I'll have the links, and I'll see you guys at the next one. Bye now.